Welcome to our new series about American architectural house styles. We'll begin with a look at beautiful old colonial historic homes. The colonial style contains different building design styles within this category. It is associated with the colonial era of the United States. This is from the early 17th century to the early 19th century.
Building styles in the 13 colonies were influenced by traditions and styles from England, as well as styles from other areas in Europe.
The most common colonial style is British colonial, known as First Period British. This is because America was under British colonial rule for the longest time and over the largest area.
In New England, 17th century colonial houses were built primarily from wood. This is following styles from the southeastern counties of England.
Colonial houses are normally a simple traditional design. They have plain exteriors with minimal embellishments. They are rectangular and symmetrical in shape and have a single central door.
Let's look at a few examples. SALTBOX style homes take their name from their resemblance to a wooden lidded box in which salt was once kept. They are fairly simple constructions. They are frame houses with 2 stories in the front and 1 in the back, having a pitched roof with unequal sides, being short and high in front and long and low in back. The front of the house is flat and the rear roof line is steeply sloped. They usually have a large central chimney.
Cape Cod style houses. These are traditionally single-story homes, low, broad and rectangular. They have a central chimney and a pitched side-gabled roof. Dormers or second stories were often added in later years.
Dutch colonial houses were built from around 1630 with the arrival of Dutch colonists to New Amsterdam and the Hudson River Valley in what is now New York, and in Bergen, which is now New Jersey. Initially, the settlers built small one-room cottages with stone walls and steep roofs to allow a second-floor loft. By around 1670, 2-story gable-end homes were common. Around 1720, houses incorporated the distinctive gambrel roof, which is visually similar to a barn-style roof. This is an example of a Dutch colonial revival-style house of the early 20th century, a clapboard home in the Quaker Hill district of Connecticut.
French colonial houses. These were developed in French settled areas of North America, beginning with the founding of Quebec in 1608 and New Orleans, Louisiana in 1718, as well as along the Mississippi River Valley to Missouri. Most French colonial homes include wraparound porches, steep roofs, high ceilings, French doors, and symmetrical designs. These types of homes are often made out of brick or stucco.
Spanish colonial style in the United States can be traced back to St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest established city in the country, founded in 1565. This is an example of a Spanish colonial house of that area, built in 1723. The early type of dwelling was a board house, a small one-room cottage constructed of soft wood boards, usually with a thatched roof. Here is an example of a Spanish colonial revival single-family home. This style developed in California and in the southwestern states like Arizona and New Mexico, with Pueblo-style influences from the indigenous people's architecture. This is the Painted Desert Inn, a National Historic Landmark in Arizona. Pueblo homes were made of adobe or stucco and designed to handle the extreme temperatures of the desert.
German colonial was developed from about 1675. The early colonists to this region adapted the half-timber style of construction, then popular in Europe, which used a frame of braced timbers filled with masonry. The bank house was a popular form of home during this period, typically constructed into a hillside for protection during the cold winters and hot summers of the region.
The mid-Atlantic colonial house is prevalent in the region surrounding the Chesapeake Bay on America's east coast. It was settled primarily by immigrants from Britain. The standard house built by the colonists in this region between the first settlements in 1607 and the end of British rule in 1776 followed the I-plan format and had either interior or exterior gabled chimneys and was either wooden or brick. A great example of mid-Atlantic colonial academic architecture is the 1774 Hammered Harwood House in Annapolis, Maryland.
The colonial Georgian style was popular during the reigns of King George II and King George III in the 18th century. They had formal and classical details and were often built in brick with wood trim, wooden columns and painted white. Some were made of wood with clapboards. Georgian architecture was based on classical architecture of an Italian Renaissance period.
Federal-style colonial homes became popular after the American Revolution and were a refined upgrade to the popular Georgian house style. They have the same recurring shape and symmetry as other colonial house styles, but their delicate ornamentation sets them apart. Alfred's Alley in Philadelphia features colonial and federal-style homes. Built in 1702, it is considered to be the United States' oldest residential street.
We hope you enjoyed our look at colonial style houses in America. It is a very vast topic, but we hope we gave you an interesting overview of the subject.
We will be covering other styles of American architecture at a later date. Why not let us know your favourite in the comments section below?
Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to us on YouTube.